tell you what nobody else in America is going to tell you right now. And that is Iran is kicking ass and taking names over there. They done destabilized every embassy. America has no embassy, no communications over there. It's all destabilized. And they are daring any European nation to get involved. They said you will face dire consequences. Listen, if you can't tell now that these are the last days, man, the so-called most powerful nation in the world times 2, plus Israel, is getting their ass whipped by Lebanon and little old Iran. What a day we're living in right now. And the world is so calm and everybody at the mall and shit shopping and chilling. Motherfuckers planning weddings tomorrow. Just like they did in the days of Noah, when that world ended. It's happening right now. It's happening again. This is an amazing time to be alive, to actually be living through biblical prophecies and living through them and seeing people who are asleep, who are oblivious, don't know what's going on, and watching them in danger and like, damn, this is a scary time.
There's a number that the Pentagon has not put in a press release, is not mentioned in a congressional briefing, and is not allowed any general to say on camera. The number is 12 missiles out of 350. 350 Iranian drones and ballistic missiles launched simultaneously at 03:47 local time over the Persian Gulf. 338 were intercepted, destroyed, or failed on their own. The American missile defense architecture, the Patriot PS-3 batteries, the THAAD launchers, the Aegis destroyers, the $2 trillion layered dome that $200 billion of investment over 20 years was supposed to make impenetrable, performed at a 96.6% success rate, and 12 got through. And those 12 missiles hit the Gower oil facility's stabilization complex in a thermal bloom so intense it whited out the satellite feed. 47 people are dead. The world's largest oil facility is on fire, and the question that every military analyst, every defense procurement officer, and every adversary intelligence service on the planet is now asking is not why 338 were stopped. The question is how 12 got through a $2 trillion shield. The answer to that question changes the operational calculus for every military in the world, and the answer is not what the Pentagon is telling you. Before we get to the 12, you need to understand what the American military believed about its own shield, because you cannot understand the magnitude of what just happened without understanding the magnitude of what was promised. In a congressional hearing room 14 months ago, General Isaac Markowski stood before the Armed Services Committee and presented a number. The number was 98, as in 98% successful interception rate. As in the architecture he had spent his career building had achieved 98% in every controlled test ever conducted. He called it a seamless defensive umbrella. He said it does not merely react, it anticipates. He told a room full of lawmakers that the system was, and this is the exact word he used, impenetrable. $200 billion over 20 years. The Patriot, PAC-3, with its hit-to-kill precision. THAAD designed to intercept ballistic threats at altitude. Aegis destroyers that can track a baseball over the horizon. All of it linked in millisecond dialogue. All of it stress-tested in simulators. All of it briefed to Congress as a physical law of the modern battlefield. An immovable wall between American assets and anyone who wanted to strike them. The faith was total. The certainty was institutional. And on the morning of the Gower attack, at 03:47 local time, it was destroyed in 20 seconds. Not by a technological breakthrough Iran discovered last year. Not by a weapon America didn't know existed. Not by a lucky shot, by a method that was methodical, deliberate, pre-tested, and already documented in the intelligence files of 3 American agencies who did not connect the data points in time. Here is exactly how 12 missiles got through a $2 trillion shield. Layer 1 of Iran's attack was not a missile. It was a radio wave. 3 Iranian naval fast attack vessels in the southern Gulf had been conducting what American radar operators logged as routine electronic activity for 11 days prior to the launch. The activity was not routine. It was a calibration test. Low-power radar jamming pulses, carefully below the threshold that would trigger an alert, mapping the exact frequencies and response times of every Aegis destroyer in the theater. Probing, measuring, recording. 40 minutes before the 03:47 launch, those 3 vessels activated full-power adaptive GPS, jamming across a targeted frequency band covering the entire northern Gulf. Not the crude, wide-spectrum noise Iran used in 2019. Something different. A precision blanket that a senior electronic warfare officer described as targeted degradation. A slow poison that didn't shut systems down. It made them imprecise. It introduced tiny timing errors into the GPS coordinates that every Patriot and the AD battery was using to calculate firing solutions. The degradation was not enough to blind the systems. It was enough to make them hesitate. Milliseconds of recalculation inserted into a system where milliseconds are the margin between a hit and a miss. That was Layer 1. Layer 2 appeared on radar at 0347, and it looked like a wall. 350 contacts, all launching within an 18-second window. Shahab ballistic missiles, Shahed drones, cruise missiles. Every platform in Iran's inventory fired simultaneously to saturate the processing capacity of every sensor array in the theater. This is called a saturation attack. The American military had war-game saturation scenarios. What it had not war-gamed was what Iran layered on top of it. Among the 350 real contacts in a critical 20-second window, radar scopes aboard the USS Baton showed a cluster of genuine hostile tracks surrounded by 40-plus phantom returns. Ghost signals, radar spoofing, transmitting fake missile signatures at the exact radar cross-section of the real inbound threats. The system was not fooled. It was overloaded. There is a difference, and the difference is what killed 47 people. For 22 seconds, the Baton's processing arrays were consuming 40% of their computational capacity, sorting phantom returns from confirmed kills. The targeting queue backed up, and in that backed up queue, 12 tracks found the seam between prosecution cycles and flew through it. That was Layer 2. Layer 3 is the one the Pentagon has not publicly discussed. Cyber forensic analysts found evidence of a latent piece of malware inside the logistics management software used by Patriot battery operators. Not in the fire control systems, not in the radar. In the inventory management software, the system that tells operators how many interceptors are loaded.